I almost want to start this video with a moment of silence for everybody who believed in SpaceX. I always knew that this IPO was just an exit liquidity scam for everyone who has been an early round investor, a seed investor in the company, and they're just cashing out. The valuations never made sense, but I am here to look at the obvious. I'm here to look at the chart, and I'm here to tell you that there is a path for us to make a lot of money on SpaceX. In my experience, IPOs do create a lot of wealth for people who understand what levels to buy in. And I'm not saying that you buy at 180 or $150 and you're going to end up doubling, tripling your money. But I will say that there will come a time when I might even take this trade and we're going to make 2, 3, 400% most likely. But the road to that entry will take time, patience, understanding, and I'm going to show you multiple examples of previous IPOs that did very, very well, and SpaceX might end up doing something very similar. But take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, because right now we are in a free fall. There's no way to predict where the bottom is. But I will say there will be signs to show us where the bottom is starting to develop, because we're not looking for just fundamentals. We're looking for those large buyers, institutions. We're looking for something to hold the ground so the stock doesn't slip lower. So let's start with the first one, which is Robinhood. Robinhood was an IPO that did exactly the same thing what SpaceX is doing. From the IPO opening share price, we came down about 80%, which is kind of insane, and then eventually broke the all-time highs and continued higher as the company solidified its fundamentals. But what I want you to notice is, as the weeks go by, as time passed, the speed at which Robinhood was going down slowed a lot. Notice we started to somehow print these bullish weekly candles. There's no indication that that is the floor just yet, but eventually we found the floor at $6.81 and we started to trend back up. And this was the first time that we bounced for multiple weeks, came down, retested the previous bullish candles, and then tried to hold it. Notice that it's like when you drop a ball from a height, it bounces. The first one is a pretty big bounce, then it's a slow, and then it just keeps trickling down and the ball just stops, right? That's the type of price action I'm looking for in these IPO crashes. But then what I'm looking for later on is that eventually we sweep some of these key levels, and in this case scenario, Robinhood came back all the way down to $8 and swept all of this bullish consolidation and then reversed back up. And this is how you know that this bottom formation around $8 is solid and it's going to hold. And another thing you can do is, if you buy one of these liquidity sweeps, you can put a stop below the previous low, which would be $6.81, and then just exit, and then don't touch it for another few months because your entire analysis was wrong. So from $8 to about $7, we're looking at a drawdown of about 15 to 16%. That's your stop loss or whatever, and then we can make 100 to 300% on a trade like this. I hope that made some sense. Let's look at the Uber IPO. Uber IPO was a little different. The drawdown from IPO price was about 67%, so quite large, but this didn't do what Robinhood did. This was a little different, but one thing that is similar is that the capitulation low held, and once we started to go make our way back up, the price did come back to retest that zone. Exact same thing that happened in Robinhood. The price came down to $8 to see if this is a serious level or not, and buyers held their grounds. And this is exactly what happened with Robinhood. We came all the way down to test these bullish candles, and then we eventually reversed back up, and this one gave you about almost 300% if you held it for a year or two. And this is why I started this call by saying that we don't know exactly what path we're going to take, but once it starts happening in live, I will drop more videos and we'll keep a close eye on it, because in 1, 2, or 3 years, SpaceX has the potential to make us a lot of money. We just have to sit patiently and wait for that exact time to strike. The next one I want to go over is PLTR. This one, if we zoom in, the IPO price was about $9, $10. We went up a lot, almost 300, 800%. This is not the best example because that's not what SpaceX did. But the bottom was a lot closer. We're looking at about 36, 30, 37% here. So from the IPO time, the bottom printed at about $37 area. This is a little different because the capitulation happened way later. and we never saw the sweep of the previous level. So if I was watching this chart, I would have liked this to sweep this previous level, which is right here, and then reverse. But clearly we reversed way before that. So again, it's a little bit different, but at the end of the day, notice that the consolidation of almost, what is it? From 2022 to 2023, so about 1 year of consolidation here before we ran up. And that shows you that there are buyers coming in at around $7 area. Every time it taps into this region, we find buyers. And I might not have mentioned that on Hood because I gave you that ball example. But notice this is basically what a consolidation looks like. We just go sideways and we just try to hold a ground. Me asking to enter at $8 is just me being a sniper type of trader. I just look for precision. And if I don't see it, I just don't enter it. Let's move on to a stock that I did profit a lot from, which is Oscar. Oscar was a company that IPO'd and never saw the higher prices. Again, we're still not there yet. I'm totally out of the stock, by the way. I'm not holding anymore. We saw a drawdown of about 93%. This is most likely a company that was not going to reverse unless their fundamentals really did change. And they did. They started to become profitable. Notice that we created a head and shoulder type of pattern on this one. Left shoulder, right shoulder, and then the head, and obviously inverse head and shoulder. This is one of those stocks that I would have never traded. I would have never taken it because it's just healthcare and it's very uncertain. And the reason I took this trade is because I saw the fundamentals being extremely good and the stock was compressed because there were too many sellers at $22. Every time we tapped into this region, we would not go above it. So I thought to myself, the only way this stock can break higher with good fundamentals is if we sweep a previous level. And that is exactly where institutional buyers came in. And if you go back, you can Claude or ChatGPT it. You can see that the CEO himself bought millions of shares here and not just institutional buyers. So overall, liquidity sweeps do work. And after that, we found a path to breaking this previous resistance level. And now we are sitting at $28, $30. Another great example of an IPO that reversed from the lows. And if we look how much we did from the bottom, we're up about almost 1,000%. Nobody would have seen that coming. The next one I want to go through is NU, a great company based out of Brazil. Most of their customer base is there. Again, a drawdown of about 69-70%, and then we reversed after creating a bottom. Very similar here. We capitulated, printed some bullish candle, tried to go sideways, and notice that we swept a lot of these key levels. We swept this candle, and the moment we tapped into this region, we reversed. And I know in hindsight, I can draw this and say, oh, well, perfect. We broke out of this downtrend and then continued to trend up. But we're just using this as an example of how well an IPO reversal can do. And from the lows, you could have made 100, 200%, depends on how much patience you have on the stock, right? And you have to truly believe in the company's fundamentals for you to be able to hold the bottom for another 1 or 2 years. So let's go back to SpaceX here for a moment. SpaceX right now, from the IPO price of about 155, 160, we're only down 30%. Can we go down to 60, 70% like a lot of IPOs I showed you? That would put us at about a price of $45. It's very possible, guys. Actually, let's draw this line here at $45 and see if we ever hit this level. Let me remove this one for clarity. And the next time I make this video on SpaceX, I'll leave this line here and to see if the floor starts printing in around this area. But I want you to understand, whenever the floor happens, let's say we crash here, capitulate, we go down, we go up, we sweep this level, and we start to make our way back up, the gains will be amazing. And this is why I made this channel. I'm here to cut the BS and let you know that this is not the time to buy SpaceX stock. Sit on the sidelines, let the company prove to you that fundamentals are growing, let the chart prove to you that it's ready to take your money. It's so much easier to buy in, go in red, draw down 10-20% and just be like, oh, well, I'm a long-term investor. Do you really want to put your money into a company that doesn't come back for 5 years while you can compound it for 5 years at 10% using a VU ETF, or pay off your debt, or go on a nice vacation or something? We know when we sit through a drawdown for 3, 4, 5 years, we're just lying to ourselves. that we're in for the long term. Nobody wants to sit and look at their portfolio for 5 years and it's red every single day. So I really hope this video helps you find some patience. And if you think otherwise, please leave a comment and let me know what your plan is or what you're doing, and if I'm wrong on this analysis. I would love to hear the other side of things as well. So with that being said, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to, and I will catch you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching.